This has massive implications for the Vancouver Canucks and their playoff hopes with the biggest game of the season tonight versus the St. Louis Blues, where it'll all come down to this as the team fights for that final wildcard spot to kick off this long road trip. We're going to be breaking down all of that in this episode of Canucks Digest, but first, before we get into that, we have a special offer we want to present for you guys. We are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app and other Digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app and find the Digest group to join the competition. This is really exciting as there is over $35,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's such a smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance of winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing in. Again, it's completely free to sign up and a serious chance to win big. If you're having trouble signing up, please reach out to us in the email below, and we are excited to see you in this March Madness bracket pool. And with that, let's hop into the first topic of the day, which is the only topic because it's a big one, and that is tonight is massive. So tonight is a big game in St. Louis against the Blues, and this season the Canucks and the Blues have split their two meetings, each taking a win on the road. Vancouver's strong road record at 17 wins, 12 losses, and 4 overtime losses may serve them well as they kick off a critical 6-game road trip. After St. Louis, they face off against other desperate playoff contenders, including the Rangers, Islanders, and Blue Jackets. So this is really, for all intents and purposes, our playoffs, they start now. Every game is a must-win now, and we have to treat it as if it's a playoff game. You heard Quinn Hughes and Boeser after the game the other night against the Winnipeg Jets, where we got a huge blowout win that was a massive confidence boost, and goes to show that, hey, even if we get into the playoffs and people think that we're going to get smacked around by the Jets, we just smacked them around. So we could prove that, hey, we can hang with the big boys when we get everything clicking and when our stars are on fire. And that's what we saw the other night, and that's what we're hopefully going to see tonight against this St. Louis Blues, because this is the biggest game of the regular season. I know we talked about it against Utah, we've talked about it against Calgary, how those were the biggest games, but each game just keeps getting bigger and bigger, where, yeah, each game down the stretch against these teams that are fighting with that playoff spot for us, that is definitely the biggest game of the season at that point. And that is because the playoff implications have never been bigger. If the Canucks win in regulation, their probability jumps from 15.5% to 50.2%, making them more likely than not to earn a postseason berth per money puck. And if they lose in regulation, their probability drops from 11.2 down to 23.5. So this is not what the Canucks want to see heading into this game. They know that this is a huge game. We already know that. But if you get into the analytics of things and how the numbers are really going to break down for that, that's where things get a little bit more concerning, where you could get caught up in that, especially when looking at, while unlikely, the Canucks could match the Minnesota Wild for the first wildcard spot. They're 6 points behind, but the Wild have sputtered recently with a 4-5-1 record in their last 10 games. Money Puck gives the Canucks a 7% chance of finishing with that wildcard spot as of today. So if we can get a regulation win, and if the Wild lose their next game, maybe we could see the Canucks try and make a push, not just for that second wildcard spot, but also for that first wildcard spot, because it is such a critical position. As much as we had a good shot against the Jets the other night, and we made good on that promise and beat the hell out of them, we can't do that every single game against a team like that. That's a team where you got to work up to that. If you're going against a team that's that good every single night, it's going to be tough to keep up that consistency. So if we can get through that part of it and somehow get past the second wildcard spot and get into that first spot, that'll go to show a lot more momentum for this Canucks team based on who they would play out of that. But that's a very big if. I know that if the Canucks win tonight, that is a major step towards doing that, but it is still probably a far cry, and we just got to stay focused on, hey, don't even worry about the first playoff for the wildcard spot, that second spot. Don't even worry about that first wildcard spot. Don't even worry about these next 6 games. Worry about the game that's in front of you. All that matters is going 1-0 tonight, and just treat every game as a, hey, we're 0-0 and we have a chance to go 1-0. That's the way you got to treat it. It's just a new season every single game. I know if you start losing those games, that's where you can't really treat it like that. As long as you're winning games, just keep treating it like that. Just keep going 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Maybe you get 2 points here in an overtime win there and here and there, especially against a team that's not pushing for a Western Conference playoff spot, because we don't actually play that many of those teams down this stretch, unless it's the Winnipeg Jets or the Vegas Golden Knights, which in any case, we can't catch up to them anyway. So them getting an extra point here and there doesn't really help, doesn't really hurt us as much. But if we can go into those games and get some 2 points here and there, especially against the Rangers, which would be very nice to get a win to smack them around a little bit. But if we can go into some games where we're not just winning in regulation, we get some overtime wins where we can get 2-point swings on that and have an even bigger lead and push for that first wildcard spot. I really like how the Canucks can do that. One of the ways they can do that, do not touch the lines from the last game. We saw how efficient that first line was. It was the first time in almost the entire season, it felt like, where we had a first line that was absolutely on fire. Brock Boeser, 2 goals and an assist. Pettersson was contributed with a point. Nils Höglander was also on fire, and he's been a rocket as of lately. Mark just covered him in our last video about the impact that Höglander has made on this team, despite all the trade talks, all the rumors that they were probably going to be moving on from him. Höglander has really filled into that and become a solidified top sixer in the past month or so. Actually, since 2025 really turned over, we've seen a whole entirely new Nils Höglander, where almost all of his production and points this season have come since 2025 hit. So it's amazing to see that he's been able to get that ice time back, getting back in Tocchet's good graces, and get back to doing exactly what they saw in him when they gave him that 3x3 extension. So this is going to be big for the Canucks. Do not touch these lines. I know Connor Garland, he's a game time decision as well, so we're going to see what happens there. However, the top 2 lines, especially that first line, do not touch it, especially when you just got Brock Boeser going, Petey's now going, Nils Höglander's going. These are 3 guys that this is why this first line is so critical and you don't touch it. These are 3 guys that all season have had nothing but noise all around them. Pettersson with the JT Miller drama and the scoring drama and the injury stuff. Nils Höglander with the ice time and the trade rumors, and as well with Pettersson with the trade rumors, and Brock Boeser. These are 3 guys that have had trade rumors, contract rumors, and have been seemingly wanting to be shipped out of Vancouver. And now look at how they've turned it on. I know one game doesn't signify anything significant for the entire season, but it's happening at the right time. And if they can continue this and this first line keeps producing like they did last night, wow, that is a great turnaround for not only this Canucks team, but those 3 players in particular, because of all the things going on this season. Aside from JT Miller, who's no longer on the team, there has been no 3 other players where there has been more criticism, more noise, and more speculation around than these 3 guys right here. And seeing them click at just the right time to get us into a playoff push is exactly what Canucks fans want to see, and that is what we brought these guys in here for, and that's why we extended them, and that's why we will hopefully extend Brock Boeser, because it goes to show the impact player that he is when he is clicking. But what do you guys think of that down below? Let us know down in the comments, and what do you guys think of these next 6 games that we have coming up, where we have St. Louis tonight, we have the Rangers. I know you guys are going to have thoughts about that. I got something interesting I want to show you guys in regards to that as well coming up. Then you got the New Jersey Devils. No Jack Hughes is unfortunate. You got the Islanders and the Blue Jackets. They're fighting for a spot. And then we close out this road trip against the Winnipeg Jets, who we just beat the other night. So if we can get a big statement win against them to close out this road trip, and yes, we have been fantastic on the road this year. We've been better on the road than we've been at home, and this is happening at the perfect time where, yeah, we're going on a tough road trip. We're going against some teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. The Blues, the Devils, or the Rangers, the Blue Jackets, those guys, Islanders, those guys are all fighting for playoff spots and are really staying competitive and trying to play spoiler to the Canucks. But if they can go out and play on the road like they've played all season, we go out and we win 4 of these 6 games, maybe even 5 of these 6 games, while stealing 2 points in the process. I would love to see, obviously I would love to see that happen, but it would go to miles towards not only solidifying that second wildcard spot, but if we get some help from Minnesota keeping sputtering out of control like they have been, maybe we got a chance at that first wildcard spot and we can dodge Winnipeg for at least another round if we can get to that second round. But what do you guys think about that road trip coming up? What do you think will be their record on that road trip? And how excited are you for tonight? Not only tonight's game, but also for the next road game, because that's against the New York Rangers, and it is a revenge game against JT Miller, who, if you guys haven't been seeing, he has not scored in the last 8 games. So for everybody that is saying in the comments that we traded the wrong guy, hey, look at what Petey's doing now and look at what Miller's doing now. Miller, he started off hot when he got to New York, and he has very much fizzled out ever since then. And meanwhile, Petey, he's really been doing it well. He's been scoring. He's been a great team player. He's been creating opportunities. He's been moving his feet. He's been firing the puck. We are seeing a really big turnaround happening right now for him since this Miller trade happened, since he addressed the media, taking all the brunt of it. We heard Patrik Allvin talk about it, that we covered in one of our last videos as well. And we are seeing this Canucks team really start to hit a stride that they would not have hit if JT Miller was still on this team. and we're going to be able to just smack them in the mouth after this game. Hopefully, after we get a win tonight in St. Louis, to carry it over to the Big Apple and try and get a second straight road win. But what do you guys think about all this? How excited are you guys not only for this game, but also the New York game right after it? I know we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves, take it one game at a time, but when it's a game like that against the Rangers and JT Miller is going to be on the ice against Pettersson, you can't not address it, and especially when Miller has been struggling the way he has, and Pettersson has kind of really started to turn it on and get a lot more momentum going. But that's going to do it for this episode of Canucks Digest. Special thanks to Hot Takes for supporting this video as well. Hopefully you guys are keeping up with all the March Madness stuff going on, and you are getting ready for a very crazy end of the season for the Vancouver Canucks. But with that, I've been your host, Griffin. Take care.